Ah, how did I get into this mess?
That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? What have I done wrong?
I cannot allow you to go on like this.
But I'm just a simple defense attorney.
Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title.
I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer to prove a killer innocent. March 23rd, 9:43am, District Court, Defendant, Lobby number 3. Hello everyone, Triple S back is more Phoenix Wright Trilogy, and this is the final, courtroom part of Justice for All, and farewell my turnabout. We're going to be in court for the next 2 episodes, and then we're done for this game, as in Justice for All, not the entire trilogy. Then we'll be moving on afterwards to Trials and Tribulations. So, last time we found out that Celestine Pax had what she thought was a relationship with Matt on Guard, but Matt on Guard was just using her, and then he threw her away. She then went to Juan Corrida, but then Matt on Guard told Juan about their previous relationship, so then he dumped her, and then she committed suicide. And that's why Adrian wanted revenge on Matt and pinned the crime on him, and it was Matt, apparently is like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation, where he lifted his hair up and he's got 3 scratches down his eye that he's been hiding with his hair, and he straight up admitted to, doing everything, but we're his defence lawyer, we're supposed to defend him in court, so we don't know what we're going to do, because if we don't get a guilty, Maya's going to die. But if we get a guilty, then we're betraying everything that we believe in not sending guilty people free and sending innocent people to jail. So, let's just see what happens. Phone call. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're going to prove me not guilty today, right? There he is. Or 4 scratches, actually. If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict too. Now listen up. You better get on guard at guilty sentences, okay? If you get that creepy slime bagger not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. Maya. Phoenix? Phoenix! Mia! Maya, how's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But, you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please! There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. God damn it. Is that accursed on guard again? Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore, I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Gumshoe, I'm really sorry. Where are you? You let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe. Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're going to do everything we can and find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true, I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. Have to make the trial last longer? If you go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through, I know it. March 23rd, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The defence is ready, Your Honour. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honour. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder. That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Miss Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Ah, then you're saying that she's guilty after all. I'm not finished, Your Honour. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? Looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Corrida was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt on Guard. I keep want to say Mr. in front of everything now, Mr. or Miss. What a surprising turn of events. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honour. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Miss Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. What is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, yeah. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry. Well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. The night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. On Guard's room. Okay, sure. Here we go. Visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. Talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. On Guard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in headfirst, right? Okay, well, first thing we've got to do is press statement 4. Watched two with him for a while, but then I gave up and went back. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4. Press. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two of them? Oh, not more than a minute or two, I think. Okay, but now we've got to then go back to statement 3 and press that. At first, what do you mean by that? I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. Why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated... you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Huh. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honour? This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Matt gave the bellboy a tip. We press. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Ah, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. The tip. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court? About how much would you say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? Ah, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honour. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Objection! The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? It's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honour. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honour? I have here the card Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer? He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I'm certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Right away. Were you gumshoe? The second time. This time, I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Corrida's room. Now that I think about it, the bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin. I'm sure of it. I mean... yeah. Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer, then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. If that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honour. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. Ha 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 ha. This is no laughing matter. Calm down, Mia, jeez. Okay, gotta go to statement 4. Now think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The bellboy did seem kinda out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next. Ah, well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. Is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or try to pull a fast one? There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is! There really isn't! If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. Your Honour, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Ah, Edgeworth. Are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see, very well. This court recognises and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. Okay. I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out of a guest room empty-handed. With this, we present the wine glass. Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So, a baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Yeah. Well, there's also... I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Karida's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here. Anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Karida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. Ah, but that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. Ah, but can you prove that Mr. Karida was already dead at the time? Miss Edgeworth. Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed. Or should I say empty-hand, Ed? I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Ah, boy does this make this bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, got to focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, that bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? Nah. But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendants. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself could believe he was just another bellboy. Ah. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. I'm in my guide here. I think there's only 2 more testimonies left, but they're quite long. Their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left, without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident. Some accident, I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. Huh. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Well then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honour. Their second meeting. Okay, we're going to go to statement 2, press. I said hold it. Okay. That's better. Aha! What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Apparently the guy wants me to know about the person inside. So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? And you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Onguard's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Onguard himself, I'd say. And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Well, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing... Actually, then we go back to 2. Press again. Apparently according to the guide, but I could be wrong. I said hold it. Okay, that's better. That's about this something. He gave something to this person. Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. I'd like to summarise the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Miss Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honour. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the clients. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... no. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. We present the figurine. What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honour. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honour. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, there's something you saw. Was it this item? Oh hey, that's it. That's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Onguard's mansion. How did the defendant's house, mansion, place? House, mansion? Mouse? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honour. Surely the killer assassinated one reader in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Onguard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honour. Mr. Onguard is the killer's client. Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. If you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. Oh, I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. It has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honour, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Power testimony of the person who received the bear itself, the person who received the bear. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of... Ah! What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, so... I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm. But... the arm... It was a Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. You've got to be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order, order! Looks like you've dug your own grave, yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Mat on Guard is a Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defence, we've made that all the clearer. What am I supposed to do now? Mia, help! You don't have time to act lost. You've got to find another angle to attack this from. Hurry! Now I will bring this cross-examination to... Your Honour. Again, Mr. Wright? We've already removed any and all questionable areas of this testimony. It's about time you were removed from this court, Mr. Wright. I have to find something. You know, one more little point will do. There are still questions left unanswered. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright. What questionable point would you like to explore further? The bear itself. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. On Guard's mansion. However, Mr. On Guard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honour has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. On Guard who took this bear to the mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Whew! Disaster averted, it looks so. God damn it. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at On Guard's mansion. Why is this flashback in black and white, but other ones weren't? We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time he was the killer. The killer and On Guard were working together. I just suddenly turned German, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at On Guard mansion as its butler. What a bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to On Guard mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, On Guard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Huh. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Mat on Guard. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honour, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? Objection. I will now announce my... Yep. You just asked me why, and then you didn't even wait for my answer. There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honour, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at On Guard mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Tisk tisk. Is this all you have? Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client, and therefore the real murderer? Where is she? There she is, Adrian Andrews! Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt on guard for the crime by wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Ah! Then the nickel samurai's arm that I saw. That could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. On Guard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. On Guard's mansion? It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defence's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell On Guard did it. I can't believe the defence would go so far as to pin the guilt on someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. 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 Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order, order, order. All disrupted parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honour, for the benefit of the defence, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Miss Edgeworth? Prosecution is prepared to challenge the defence's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specifically bring that bear to On Guard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honour, the prosecution calls upon the witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honour. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. Prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honour. March 23rd, 11:54 AM, District Court, Defendant, Lobby number 3. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? And I never thought in your desperation you tried to pin the guilt onto Adrian. Ah! I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick! Pearls, where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. A really strong power? Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is. It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto. Oh, that's good, pal. What about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. Have I just run out of luck this time? Is all that hope for naught? A tent! Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent! Mia! Looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The very big circus. Oh, the very big circus. Maya is somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map. About a 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry! And? I could see a mailbox under the window just outside. Gumshoe! There's also a mailbox. Okay. What else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia! Mine's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. Can we do it? Nobody knows. March 23rd, 12:05 PM, District Court, courtroom number 3. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his clients. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Hello, Adrian. How you doing? Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You've seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? Alright. Why? Why does she... The bear figurine, the last testimony of this video. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its centre is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewellery box just by looking at it. So this figurine is a container of sorts, is it? Yes, looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. You're going across Monetisation, Mr. Wright. Looks like there really was something to that bear after all. We've got to press everything. So this will be fun. Actually, it's an elaborate puzzle. A puzzle? That's right. But it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. The people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. So you can take it apart, and how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Ooh, this is most interesting. A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. It would have actually been cool if you could see it being taken apart piece by piece, but... Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? In its centre is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Press. And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with our testimony. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. Press. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are that many people with the same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. You really can't tell that it's a small jewellery box just by looking at it. Press. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container, or jewellery box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. On-Guard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Figurine updated in the court record. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realise that there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewellery box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness? Yes? You are the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. Oh, I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? Looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's a suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere, because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right, at least that's what I would think. Well then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honour, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by On Guard, about being engaged to Corrida, On Guard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided in her despair to end it all. And that's all Miss Impax had to say. There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. On Guard. Then what? Her intention, Your Honour, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word. What On Guard values above all else is refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Celeste's suicide note added to the court record. It's On Guard's fault that woman killed herself. And this time, he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. How terrible! What a selfish person! I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. There is no room for doubt here. Mr. the Killer's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know! To carry on and buy him some more time. Okay, there are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry! Suicide note of the figurine. Which one of these should I pursue? Figurine. Please wait, Your Honour. God damn it. Oh man, look at that lawyer! He's still going at it. It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. The assassin took this with him from the crime scene after murdering Mr. Corrida. At the request of his client, of course. So, what's your point, Mr. Wright? I don't think it's possible that Mr. the Killer's client was Matt on guard. In fact, I think there is a contradiction here. You can't tell by just looking at it that this bear is really a jewellery box. The chances that Matt on guard thought the note was inside this bear are 0 to none. Oh, I didn't think of that way. Didn't think of it that way. There. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. After all, there is no reason why Mr. On Guard would ever want a jewellery box like this. Order, order, order! You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Miss Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defence seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It is a very small video camera, Your Honour. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt on Guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And? The victim, Juan Corrida, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt on Guard. Order! Order! Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honour? You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not that same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this. Gumshoe's Bug Sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt on Guard's fingerprints were on there. Well, Phoenix, looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. On Guard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, hey! Now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy? Shush, stop! Don't look at him! The way he's sweating is just so, ew, nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting a lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I'd really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What's this piece of evidence that Mia is talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? Present evidence. I have an objection, Your Honour. Ha! That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. Objection! Your Honour, the defence has no intention of letting this go so easily. You are beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honour. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence, and that would be the suicide note. That is Missing Pax's suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear, but this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on this suicide note has yet to be analysed. Oh, so, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impax or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting... Mr. Wright, are you saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Ungard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you! Your Honour, the defence is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Ah! Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt Ungard. I did no such thing! Right, if you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. Ah! That's enough! Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note? It is as the defence has stated, the handwriting has yet to be analysed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defence further investigate. Handwriting analysis, my butt! That's just a lawyer trying to buy more time! Ungard is guilty! Look, any idiot can tell you that! I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty! 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 Oh, some random guy came in there. Oh. What is that sound? It's Gumshoe! Hello, Gumshoe? What is with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But two of them are already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Guilty! 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 He's back again. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh. What is it? Let me talk to Miss Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honour. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after... Hold on, Your Honour. Edgeworth, catch. Miss Edgeworth? Please, you've got to buy us some more time. Causing your session. I'm sorry, Your Honour. You were saying? Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honour, but... I'm reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Wait for it. There we go. Edgeworth, please wait, Your Honour. Edgeworth! What is this, Miss Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honour's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honour. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honour. That's all I am asking for. Please, Your Honour. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. March 23rd, 2:04 PM, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Right, well, what's going on with my situation? The killer looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Ah! Oh. Report! Ah! Is that Miss Edgeworth? We don't have time, just spit it out. Right. Looks like we just missed them, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident and he's rushed to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? Ho, I thought you'd asked, pal. I've got the things he's left with me right now and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. I don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swept the stuff and ran. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. Hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this. With my hunk of junk car, I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Alright, just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one! I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. What the hell? Hey, what's wrong? Did the gumshoe answer me? Oh. No one can stop me. Oh, god damn it, he crashed. What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken, and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No! We can't let that happen. Well, if there is a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why oh why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? There's a way. That's right, there is a way. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. Francisca. Why are you bringing up Francisca at the time like... Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. Francisca. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty. What I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, Defense Attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right? Doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict... Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. To be continued! Ooh, just about an hour. Almost bang on. It's an hour of me starting recording now, but it will not be an hour by now. Well, it will be with the intro and the outro. I don't know, we'll see. Oh god, that was close. Thank god Gumshoe called, but now Gumshoe's got himself into a crash. But hopefully we'll be able to use whatever evidence next time if Francisca decides to help us, which I have a strong feeling she will, because, you know, this is a game and it'll be pretty bad if we don't get the evidence. We need that evidence to win, so you can kind of guess that she will come through for us, but will it be in time? We'll see. So, next time, the final part of Farewell My Turnabout and the final part of Justice for All. It's still not my favourite game. Like, Turnabout Big Top, meh. Especially the characters, god, I hate them so much. And yeah, but this last case is pretty good. So, it's so short of a game. We've only having 4 cases. And, you know, some of the cases not that great, but anyway. So, next time will be the final part of Justice for All, but not the final part of the trilogy. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you decide to subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing, and ding that bell to be the first to hear about my new videos. Thanks again, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.